Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 3,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 100 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following advertisement is sponsored by Beercade YEG.
Hello, you are listening to a commercial for the podcast Over the Top Rope,
the flagship podcast of the Win Column Sports Network,
as well as a proud member of Backbreaker Media.
Again, this podcast is sponsored by Beercade YEG.
You can find us pretty well anywhere that podcasts are played, including on the iTunes,
Podbean,
the Google Play,
SoundCloud,
and on wincolumnsports.ca for all your previews,
reviews,
and breaking news from the world of professional wrestling. Tune in every Friday on Backbreaker Media, a member of Win Column Sports.
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
Well, this is Chris Parrish.
And Maniac.
And if you want to hear a podcast that's a little bit of all right.
And strugglelicious.
Yeah, and if you want to get involved with everything that is pro wrestling, everything that is, NHL, NFL, NBA.
Nah, not really, but a little bit of that and baseball.
Yeah, ball sports.
Ball sports!
Then come to Backbreaker Media, which is a division of Win Column Sports Network, and listen to the sounds of struggle.
Sounds of struggle!
And let me tell you this, if you're not into the sounds of struggle, then guess what? We don't care, because we only like the people that listen to us.
That's true.
And
listen to that, we're out of time.
So, on top of that, we say later, bitches.
Hello friends, this is Spencer Love, the host of Conversations with Love, the exclusive one-on-one interview series sweeping the nation, or at the very least, the great province of Alberta, Canada. Tune in weekly to Backbreaker Media, a proud member of the Win Column Sports Network, as I host a member of the independent wrestling community here in Alberta, or wherever the hell I feel like interviewing somebody from. You can only find it on Backbreaker Media, a proud member of the Win Column Sports Network, and proudly sponsored by Beercade YEG.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Total Nonstop Anarchy. I am your host, Andre C., joined this week by my co-host, as always, the Danimal Daniel Jobber. How you doing, friend?
I'm wonderful. Danimal Daniel Jobber back with you in the house once again, ready for some action.
Man, I'm so happy to have you back, man. Today it's going to be a heck of a show. Like, this, to me, redeemed the last few weeks of this show.
Yeah, so much action. Almost non-stop action. Actually lived up to its name.
Yeah, it was pretty much all wrestling, a couple small backstage segments, and a couple small in-ring segments, but nothing totally offensive this week.
No bullshit, no downtime, no... I mean, the storylines were interesting. Not always my preference, but they were definitely... They make you want to watch next week, for at least most people would.
Yeah, very much so. This would have drawn me back in to watch the next week that easily. So... Which
should be the goal, I think.
Yeah. So we are reviewing NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 10 from August 21st, 2002, from the Fairgrounds Coliseum, also known as the Asylum, in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep, welcome to the AJ Styles versus Jerry Lynn show. The show where AJ Styles battles Jerry Lynn, and it was interrupted by a few other matches to relieve the monotony, wasn't it?
This is the weirdest, I guess, 3 stages of hell, for better wording of anything.
I like to call it the 3 stages of Gomorrah with John Cena! That radio segment with the John Cena phone.
But the thing is, if you get a 3 stages of hell, like, there's 2 ways to do it. You do, say, a match to open, a match in the middle, and a match at the end. Or you do all 3 in a row.
Yeah.
This show messed with that system. They did 1 at the start, 1... Then the last 2 was the last 2 matches. And it wasn't even technically the end of the show.
Yeah, no, that's the weird thing.
I'm so confused about the way TNA likes to book themselves.
Yeah, it was definitely different. And it almost favors the person who wins the second match. No foreshadowing there.
Yeah, well, you'll see when we get to it, but yeah. So the show starts off, get our classic opening video, starts the classic stuff, then kicks into the TNA stuff. And... we get a crowd shot, and we go immediately into the first match of the night. And it is the first match in the best of 3 series. And the first match will be a Falls Count Anywhere match between AJ Styles and Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, this was, right off the bat, this is a way to get you into a show, man. This was good.
This match is the perfect way to kick off a show. So, show starts out, AJ attempts a baseball slide, Buck gets caught, and then he gets Lynn picks him up and slams him, body first onto the barricade, and then Lynn proceeds to smash AJ into the barricades.
Head in the apron. Oh.
In the apron, and then clotheslines him over the barricade.
Tries to suplex him in.
Yeah. As Lynn goes to hit AJ, he ends up hot-shotting him on the barricade, and then AJ, he hot-shots him, so he falls to the ground. Then AJ just comes off the barricade and hits an elbow drop.
Yeah, or almost like a forearm, I thought. Almost a phenomenal forearm, but the guy was on the ground.
Yeah, pretty much. And AJ gets a 2 count. AJ then starts chopping Jerry Lynn and whips him into the barricade, but Lynn gets his feet up, and then they end up and hits him in the face, and then they brawl. And Lynn ends up picking AJ up and crotches him on the barricade. I thought a beauty little spot.
And the crowd was... I thought they were slowly getting into it, starting to cheer for Jerry Lynn, which surprised me, but it got bigger. It got bigger,
and I'm hearing, AJ sucks chants, and the crowd just constantly behind Jerry Lynn on this.
Hey, totally turning them. I thought it was becoming the Jerry Springer show for a while there.
Yeah, and after Lynn crotches AJ on the barricade, he drags him into the crowd side of it all, and he gets a 2 count. Then they start fighting back and forth in the crowd, smashing the crap out of each other. They fight to the bleachers. They're each hitting each other off the bleachers, and all this, and that kind of moves. Then AJ ends up kicking Lynn, and he falls through the railings of the bleachers, lands on the outside, and AJ does a somersault dive over the railing of the bleachers onto Lynn, and gets a 2 count.
What do you think of the camera work? I know you're always one to criticize when they don't have good camera action in those areas.
They did it fine this show. They actually had a camera set up properly. They had the camera in the crowd ready and waiting.
And actually, what I thought was neat that Jerry Lynn disappears for a second, but then about 5 seconds later the camera's on him, so it's realistic almost. The camera guy sees something happen unexpected, and he goes in and is Johnny on the spot the way it should be.
I agree, but the reason I've been so critical of the camera work when they're in the crowd is because they don't have a camera. The camera's shooting from still in ringside, and then when they cross behind the fans, they have a camera from another angle, but they can't see them. This
mobile
one,
cameras, what a concept.
They had the cameras in the crowd. It followed them. It did it properly. They did it right this time.
Almost think you're making a TV show.
Yeah. AJ Styles then brings Lynn back to the ringside area, and AJ runs Lynn's face like right into the barricade. Looked kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Then AJ tries to do a dive off the barricade, but he gets knocked down, and then Lynn picks him up and just suplexes him right on the floor and gets a 2 count. Like, these two took some...
The chemistry between them was amazing. This rivalry definitely was worth the price of admission.
Oh, very much. I think, like, what led up to this was very annoying and confusing, but it led to 3 great matches tonight.
Yeah, we got the payoff for this.
Oh, very much so. And then, so Lynn then tosses AJ in the ring, and AJ goes for the styling DDT, but Lynn reverses it into his own inverted DDT, but then AJ reverses that, but then Lynn reverses that into a stunner for 2. It was just like inverted DDT, it switched into an inverted DDT, switch into an inverted DDT, switch into a stunner.
So many counters. These guys are just right at each other.
It would look so good. Lynn then lifts up AJ, goes for the cradle pile driver, but AJ then flips up and then comes down and face busters Lynn almost like pretty much an X Factor and gets a 2 count out of it. AJ then hits his suplex into the neck breaker, gets a 2 count. AJ then goes for, I don't know what he was trying to do. He like he's jumping, but then he kind of Lynn was on the on the ropes. I think he just ran at him, like jumped up, but then he landed on him. Like Lynn kind of caught him. Then he shifted himself and put him into run, and then run him over the top. It looked really weird.
Yeah, but these guys look brilliant for the way they.
It didn't look bad, but I literally wrote AJ goes for something, but then end up running Lynn to the floor.
They do, eh?
I just couldn't figure out what he was going for. That was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then AJ hits an enziguri and a scoop slam on Lynn on the stage, but then Lynn gets up, fights back, hits a spear on AJ, because AJ's going for the discus clothesline. As he spins around, Lynn just runs out and just spears the crap out of him. Looked really good.
Beautiful spear.
Lynn then hits a running bulldog onto the platform right in front of the dancer.
Yep.
And gets a 2 count. AJ Styles, on the outside, goes for the Styles Clash on the ramp, but gets back body drop, and Lynn then picks him up, hits the cradle pile driver on the ramp for the win, and gets the win in the first fall.
What a match. I mean, that alone was an amazing match between the two of them.
So for me, I'm getting ready. I'm like, okay, no DQ match up next. But, no.
Nope.
No.
Girls dancing in cages!
I literally wrote. So this is where the second fall should start, right? No.
Yeah.
They cut the girls in cages dancing.
Wouldn't be TNA without that, man.
And then the next fall wouldn't happen until later on. So they cut to the back, and Goldilocks is with James Storm and Chris Harris.
Our favorite undefeated buckaroo cowboy, James Storm, and his partner.
Don't call him a buckaroo, man. So Chris Harris
Come on, man. What do you mean buckaroo? Yippee-ki-yay! What are you talking about?
So Chris Harris is mad that James Storm's still being a cowboy. He says that's the reason they haven't been on TV the last little while, because of his cowboy gimmick. Then Brian Lee, the legend Brian Lee, and the other Harris twin, Ron Harris, come in and they insult Storm and Harris, making fun of them and stuff. And then it was Brian Lee called Storm a buckaroo, and Storm says, "You can't say that." And then they go back and forth, and then Brian Lee and Ron Harris leave, and then Storm goes, "Man, those some rude buckaroos." I'm just like, what? This is so stupid.
I kind of get a kick out of it, though. It's like the stupid cop and good cop.
Like, don't get me wrong. James Storm legitimately becomes one of the best performers this company will ever see.
But he pulls that off. He pulls it off well enough that, I gotta admire it. It's a goofy gimmick. We all know
this isn't it, though.
He does it so well, and he doesn't do it like it doesn't seem right for him at all. It seems like he's okay with it.
Like, this isn't it. This isn't the James Storm we'll see in a couple years, like a year's time. And the man we eventually we saw up till last year. This is not even close to that man.
But he did an okay job. It's almost like the way, like we said, Kane pulled off Isaac Yankem. You know, it was meant to be goofy, but you know, he made it work for him, and that led on to other things.
Oh, very much so. I agree with that 100%. So,
it takes a talent to pull off a goofy gimmick.
oh, so much.
And we have a girl dancing in a cage suggestively on a lollipop. Sucking suggestively on a lollipop.
Girl dancing in a cage, sucking on a lollipop, and then we get match number 2 of the night, and it is a tag team match between as I like to call him, because I hate him, and I think he's... I don't see why this business ever let him survive in it. The legend, Brian Lee, and the other twin, Ron Harris.
Ron Harris, not the...
Not Heavy D, the head of security, but it's his brother, who looks a lot thinner and less big.
Yeah.
Versus the Wildcat, Chris Harris, and the Cowboy, James Storm.
You betcha. And as I made a note, isn't Ron Harris the head of security? No, it's his brother Don Harris, who's the head of security. No
Legit
conflict
for
of
a minute
interest there,
I thought it was on, and then I'm like, wait, he's not as jacked, and he's not wearing SS stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, this match. For the first minute, they dance around and completely waste time. Finally, about a minute and a half into the match, they lock up, and Brian Lee pounds James Storm in the corner. Then the two dance around like a Wild West stunt show off the ropes, missing, countering each other's attempts. Brian Lee tags in Ron Harris, and Ron Harris is caught by surprise by a double axe handle from the top turnbuckle by Chris Harris. 2 minutes in, and not much real action yet.
No, not really.
Then Chris Harris and Ron Harris tag in, and the two dance around some more. Now almost 3 minutes in, and not much action. Not exactly a wild western shootout, this match.
It was all headlocks and, lockups. It was I think there was an arm drag in there at one point.
Yeah, that caught him by surprise, because he thought, this match wasn't supposed to have any action.
I think Harris arm dragged Ron twice, and then Ron rolls to the outside.
Yeah, it was... anyways,
this match is weird, because I literally have notes, and sometimes I write Harris for Chris Harris, but then at some point I was writing Harris for Ron. So it got confusing after a while, and I'm like, crap, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. So anyways, finally Ron and Chris Harris, corral each other. And we have an Irish whip and a hip toss by Chris Harris, followed by an arm drag. Then Ron Harris skips out of the ring for a break because, I guess the last 3 minutes of furious action have just been too much for him.
Oh man, 3.5 minutes of nothing is so tough for this guy. And he got arm drag and hip toss. Oh, that's brutal. Just brutal.
Yeah. Then after Ron Harris, it's a couple corner-to-corner clotheslines. Chris Harris starts beating up and hammering away, and he whips Ron Harris into the ropes and gives him the old buckaroo over the top rope outside the ring. Buckaroo. Another break, anyone?
Yeah, another break. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't a bad match, but...
break matches in the old wrestling days, eh?
This wasn't a bad match, but, this wasn't good.
There's nothing happening. So I thought the women were supposed to be the piss break matches in those days.
Yep.
Then James Storm comes in, and Chris Harris whips his own partner off the rope and gives him a good buckaroo onto Ron Harris. Play on the buckaroo thing.
Yeah.
Finally, almost 5 minutes into the match, Brian Lee catches Chris Harris and hits him with a tombstone pile driver and gets a 2 count before being broken up by James Storm. And yes, I said tombstone, because obviously there was a place called Tombstone back in the Wild West.
Yeah, well, we all know that it's Undertaker's move, but and I kind of like the way they're doing it, using that move as just another move in a match. Because if you watch Japanese wrestling, man, they use the tombstone as a transitional move.
Oh no!
It's the only place that move is protected is in the WWE.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's also dangerous. I mean, they say it as a reason, but probably more for the gimmick of it than anything.
Yeah, you know that. You know they're what they're like on pile drivers there.
Yeah, they are dangerous. I mean, you make one mistake and you end somebody's career or life. So I mean, I can understand it.
Look at Stone Cold, man.
Yeah, that's true. It happens, and that's a sad loss because he's one of my favorite. He at least my second or third favorite of all time. I mean, top 5 for sure, regardless.
Yeah.
But anyways, then Lee and Ron Harris work over Chris Harris for a few moments, but a side slam from Ron Harris only yields a 2 count. Finally, near the 7-minute mark, Chris Harris counters a Brian Lee Irish whip with a version of the Lutez press he calls the cat attack. Yippee-tie-I-O, cow pie!
The cat attack. But you notice as he does it, he hits him with a low blow.
Yeah, and then Brian Lee counters with a low blow, like I said, like a cow poke to the jubblies to break the momentum.
The ref is staring right at him, yet he does nothing.
Oh, I know that's crazy, eh? Well, the ref didn't notice the ending of the Elvis match either. That's it'll come later.
Yeah.
Then he throws Chris Harris out of the ring to the waiting fists of Ron Harris, who works him over. And after a nonchalant cover by Brian Lee, Chris Harris counters with a sick running bulldog out of the corner, dropping him down to the mat stunned. Lee manages to make a tag to Ron Harris, who wants to prevent Chris Harris from tagging, but he succeeds in making the hot tag to James Storm.
The hot tag.
Hot tag.
Hot tag.
Yeah, I'm going at it. James Storm comes in hot and hammers on both opponents with his fist, and then Chris Storm comes in the ring as well, and a little bit of chaos breaks loose. They do a beautiful double clothesline, sending Brian Lee out of the ring, who then fortunately wobbles over into the corner of the barricade into the reach of a waiting fan.
A waiting plant.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Lee then attacks this fan plant, who apparently grabs him from behind while he's on the guardrail corner, while Ron Harris was looking with his head over the top rope to watch Chris Harris in this strange encounter,
Brian Lee.
Brian Lee in this crazy encounter. Chris Harris jumps from the top turnbuckle and clotheslines him on the top rope, and he bounces off into a rollover leverage pin by James Storm for the 1, 2, 3 count victory. Crazy but interesting finish.
Undefeated, baby.
And Chris Harris and James Storm remain undefeated. Darn tootin', buddy.
But
and
Brian Lee and Ron Harris cannot look bad because come on, they're legends, man. They're the old school guys. You can't make an old school guy look bad. So they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, for no reason. Match time 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Only 6 minutes of it, which was actually wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
then your favorite part.
This match was fine. It's just the after shit. I'm just like, why did they have to get their heat back? I really don't understand it.
Would have been nice to see. Well, that happens a lot with heels, but would have been nice to see a little more action at times. But anyways, then your favorite segment type, the hype talk from Don West.
The first of two.
He's really terrible sometimes, isn't he? This one, he fumbled his words twice, and
I can't. Don't get me wrong.
He needs.
I hate Don West.
Those prompters, teleprompters.
I think he gets. I will admit this. He gets better as the years go on. He's still annoying to me, but he gets better.
He really needs a teleprompter. When it's going into it, he screws up his words half the time.
Oh, very much so. But he's yelling, he's screaming. It's just like you don't need that as Ed Ferrara had it right. Like he could get crazy at times, but he was not just screaming and yelling for no reason.
Yeah, no.
He knew when to take himself up. He knew when to bring himself down. Don West, I don't think ever learned that in his career. When to be crazy and when to be not. Like Jim Ross said this. You start at a 5, build your way up to that 10, then you come back down, then build yourself back up. Right?
Yeah, that way you pace yourself.
Don West starts at a 10 and gets to a fucking 20, then gets back down 15, then gets up to 25.
And makes 20 mistakes.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad. I could really see, your feelings with that one.
Don't get me wrong, like I can live with it because I don't know, I can live with it because he's not the worst commentator I've listened to because I've heard worse.
And at least he's promoting the show and stuff, and I mean what he's saying at least is what you're thinking, to some extent.
Yeah, it's Don West. Everybody can gripe about him, but he did the job, and hey, I've done color. It's for local independent stuff. It's a tough job, dude.
Yeah,
because you have to be on point. Like, don't get me wrong, I shit on him, but I respect the fact that he's out there on on pay-per-view doing this. Don't get me wrong, like as much as I don't care for it, it's a really tough job, man. Even
when on WWE with Vince in your ear, it's not easy.
And I don't know who's in. Maybe there's somebody in his ear. I don't know. And this guy's only 10 weeks into doing this. And before that he sold stuff on QVC.
Yeah, I guess that's quite a transition.
He got thrown into the deep end, dude.
Yeah, that's true. He's trying to swim anyways, or tread water at least.
Yeah.
And if what he says doesn't usually hold any water, but.
Yeah.
Anyways, then we got match 3, Sonny Siaki versus Jimmy Yang, and with Jorge Estrada in his corner. 2 out of 3 falls. The destruction of the Flying Elvises, most likely.
I was sad about this. I thought they were a fun little group.
Yeah, well, I love the Flying Elvises. I'm going to miss them if that truly is the end of them completely, and it sounds like it is.
Yeah, it's sad, but Yang will eventually leave and go to WWE, and
Got some bigger things ahead. Yeah.
Oh, he's got bigger things ahead. I have no idea what happens to Estrada or Siaki.
Yeah, but yeah, Jimmy Yang dances for one of the girls in the cage at least as he comes out. That was kind of fun.
Well, yeah, and then like he attacks Siaki on the ramp.
Out of the gate, yeah.
Well, he ran up. He deserved it.
Yeah, no kidding. He tried to hit him and he ducked underneath. So.
Yeah, then hit the spinning wheel kick or whatever. It looked really good. And then they did their pose.
And of course, with those stupid white outfits, they almost look more like cons fighting in a prison than an Elvis impersonators. But whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. Or Disco Inferno.
Yeah. But anyways, of course, Siaki tries to attack, Yang ducks and hits him with a spinning kick, and of course I use the term hits him in the lightest sense of the word, because obviously didn't even connect, but that's besides the point. A little bit off timing there. Before they even make it into the ring, the match is essentially underway anyways. Well, actually not really, because like you said, Estrada and Yang pose for the crowd, and Yang takes a moment to visit and dance with the girl in the cage. A little giggity giggity and a little giggity giggity goo. Alright. Anyways, Yang starts working over Siaki outside the ring, making use of the barricades. Yang takes a moment to borrow a Yang time sign from the fan and flash it in the face of his fallen opponent. Oh, don't be cruel, man.
Yeah, Yang time, bitch.
Yeah. Then Yang throws Siaki into the ring and hits him with a nice Irish whip drop kick and covers for a 2 count. Then the two men grapple for a few seconds, then Yang gets a sick leg scissor lock on Siaki on the corner ropes for a few seconds. It's always cool, this move. Then Yang does a phenomenal, and I do mean phenomenal, as he uses the top rope as a springboard, as the current AJ Styles does with his phenomenal forearm, flying great missile drop kick. Announcer asks, what is going through Sonny Siaki's mind? And I'm thinking, Jimmy Yang's feet. Thank you very much.
That would have been great if it actually went through his head.
Yeah. Siaki then counters back with a surprise uppercut from his knees, and then an inverted face breaker. However, Yang quickly counters with a backslide turned into a knee breaker, and then wins fall number 1 with his Yang time, corkscrew vault from the top turnbuckle. Yang is up 1-0, just like that.
Yeah, Yang, and I don't remember them announcing it was a 2 out of 3 falls match.
They did at one point, yeah, I think
Did
so.
they? I don't remember them announcing it at the start.
Very
and then
early
I'm like,
on, though, because I had written that down right away.
I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. 2 out of 3 falls.
So, Yang starts off the second fall, trying to do his leg scissor move in the top rope, but Siaki uses that as an opportunity to push him off and drop him down to the floor below outside the ring. Then he whips Yang hard into the over barricade into the crowd, and he runs over and suplexes him back over the barricade and back to ringside. Back in the ring, Siaki bounces off the rope and hits Yang with a rolling neck breaker from the side covers. Yang says, no way. The two grapple for a minute, then Siaki does a slide through and tries some sort of hammerlock back suplex, but Yang is slow to the bump, and the move looks more like a sensational botch that would make the real Elvis turn over in his grave.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh.
Didn't look good. Yeah, definitely bad timing there on that bump.
Yeah,
Siaki then works Yang over for a bit, hits the standing leg drop and covers for a 2 count again. Then Siaki apparently hits Yang with a clubbing blow, as the announcer calls it, but it looked a lot more like an embracing blow to me. I guess he can't help falling in love with him. He really was like holding him as he drove him down.
Oh, Jesus.
A moment later, Yang counters Siaki's running at him in the corner with a big boot and hits a rolling leg attack from the second turnbuckle, and it looks like Yang might be in a position to win the match, right? No. The two exchange counters, and then Siaki hits a surprise neck breaker he calls the money clip, a la the shake, rattle, and roll, to win fall number 2 and tie things up at a fall apiece.
Yeah, this was like arguably one of the better matches of the night.
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought they
really
very
much so.
That one couple of
if it wasn't for
moments.
Styles and Lynn, man, I would be putting these guys probably at best match of the night.
Yeah, I'd say it was number 2 in my opinion. I didn't see much better, so. Siaki quickly starts off fall number 3, picking Yang up on his shoulders and hitting him with a mean shoulder breaker. He then covers with an apparent 3 count, but the ref sees Yang has his foot on the rope at the last second, and, well, the ref says no! Yang counters... Sorry.
No!
Yang counters the Siaki charge and rolls him into a single leg crab and tries for a submission, but Siaki grabs the rope and forces the break. Yang then tries for a figure 4 leg lock and tries for a submission that way again, but Siaki grabs the rope yet again. Siaki hits Yang with a vicious superplex, but Siaki seems to get the worst of it as Jimmy Yang gets right to his feet, no sell there, eh?
Yeah.
Then Jimmy hits a Shining Wizard on Siaki. Both men are 2 days for the pin. Awesome Shining Wizard, of course, counter to the first 3 minutes of the previous tag team match, which make you want to take a break and go to the Wizard. Then Yang hits a couple of thick clotheslines and covers. 1, 2, Siaki says no. A moment later, Yang runs at Siaki in the corner and does his run-up somersault kick. Always some kind of awesomeness, that move. And then climbs aboard for 4 shots to the head before Siaki grabs Yang and takes him off the turnbuckle on his shoulders. Then we have an awkward moment when Yang tries to roll into a Hurricane Rama, but Siaki counters it and does the reverse slingshotting Yang into the top turnbuckle. Yeah, it was a bit awkward.
Yeah, a little bit. It seemed weird.
Then Siaki gets up first and goes to the top turnbuckle. Yang hits the rope and crotches him on the top turnbuckle. Both men mount the top turnbuckle together, and Yang catches Siaki with a vicious top turnbuckle neckbreaker. Both men are then dazed and take their time getting to their feet and then battle away. It's a question of who wants it most. Cliche. Then Yang rolls up Siaki.
Siaki wants it most, trust me.
Yeah. Then Yang rolls up Siaki into a surprise small package a la Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man. 1, 2, 3, right? No. Ref says no. Siaki kicked out at 2.5. Jorge Estrada is furious, jumps up on the bottom rope and complains to the ref in an ill-advised, distracting way as the match goes on. Then Yang goes for a German suplex. Siaki counters with a standing switch and tries for a German suplex of his own, but Yang counters in another leverage pin, but the ref's still talking to Jorge. He turns around just as Siaki reverses the pin and grabs the top rope, which the ref obviously sees, and the ref yet starts counting to 3, doesn't notice that Siaki changes hands and grabs the rope with the other hand, and counts to 3, assuming he let go of the rope with the one hand and didn't grab it with the other, I guess? I don't know. And 3, Siaki wins the fall. Siaki wins the match. Your winner, Sonny Siaki, at a match time of 14 minutes and 4 seconds.
A really strong match for the night, man. I really enjoyed this.
But what was up with that ending? The ref sees Siaki has his hand on the rope, starts to count, but for some reason assumes that he takes his hand off the right rope to let go and that everything's fine, but doesn't look to see if he grabs it with the other hand.
It was weird.
It's like, what was
Heel tactics. Heel tactics. Simple as that.
I guess so, but we all got a little bit of suspicious minds over that one, I'm afraid. Looks so botchy, man. Wait, the ending of that great match gets a rating of what?
Yeah, but overall, that I sat there going, man, these two are killing it.
Even leading up to the ending, that was action, man. That's the kind of match that you remember when you see those both guys, battling. You don't know who's going to win.
Oh, very much so. Very, very much so.
Just the way they messed up the ending. It should have been done a little more covertly so that the ref could not have seen the hand on the rope.
They should have had the ref in a different position.
I think he grabbed the rope too soon. Maybe he wasn't meaning to grab the rope until the ref was down counting, but he missed the timing of the ref coming away from Estrada, and he had the rope already. He was, I gotta do something, so he changed hands.
It's fair. That is very possible.
I think it's a botched ending, personally.
Probably. I'm guessing so.
But anyways, yeah, that's my segments there.
Yeah. So we move on, and Jeff Jarrett comes out as the guys.
Music.
They're still in the ring. And he's yelling at them to cut the music. He yells it like 5 times. He's like, "Cut the damn music!" Yeah. And he says he doesn't give a damn about the surprise. They screw him out of his heavyweight title shot, and they stole his tag team titles. Then out of nowhere, Brian Lawler comes flying out and attacks Jeff Jarrett, and security breaks them up. But they keep fighting, security breaks him again, they keep fighting, security breaks him up again, they keep fighting, that kind of bullshit. I kind of really hate it. And I hate this whole Lawler thing, because he's been a face, and he turned heel, and he turned face, and now he's crazy. I don't know.
And now there's supposed to be the suspense that I really don't give a shit what Jeff Jarrett did to him, because they're both heels!
Yeah, so they pulled Jeff Jarrett away, and Goldilocks comes in. I actually wrote Glody. I don't know why. Goldilocks comes in to interview Lawler, asking what Jeff Jarrett did, and he tells her, get out. He doesn't need her there. So she eventually leaves. He says, you want to know what the hell he did, and I'll tell you what it is. And then slash attacks him.
Yep, there goes that.
And then, they literally spent the whole next match going, what did he say? What was the reason? Getting all mad.
What was he gonna say?
I was just like, who gives a flying shit?
I know.
Legitimately, who gives a flying shit? Yeah, so, then we get match number 4 of the night, which is Slash versus Brian Lawler. And
no type of a new church or anybody. It's like they're having some kind of weird transition.
yeah, they were talking about during this match, like, because of last week after the fist bump with Malice and Heavy D, the new church is all pissed off and everybody's angry.
Or confused like the rest of us.
Pretty much. So Slash then hangs Lawler on the ropes, and he drop kicks him to the outside and sends him. Then he starts whipping him into the barricade a couple times. Slash then grabs a cable from the floor, so starts choking Jerry Lawler. Man, he would have got fired from WWE for that. Slash then exposes the concrete on the floor, and then goes to try and pick up Brian Lawler for the pile driver, but he can't. And then Brian Lawler ends up backdropping him onto the concrete floor. And damn, that would hurt. Like legit, that would hurt.
Why are they both? Why is this match happening? Though the crowd hates both of these men. They're both heels.
And they're chanting Jerry's kid, and Slash is getting no reaction.
Yeah, they absolutely despise them.
Like nobody's saying anything for Slash, and they're just chanting Jerry's kid to take a shot at Lawler. Yeah, oh god. Lawler then picks up Slash, and he whips him into the barricade, then picks him up, sends him back inside, and then he gets him on the rope, and then clotheslines him back outside to the floor. Did you just do that to break the 10 count?
Probably.
That was so dumb. He could have just slid in and slid back out.
Like those people.
They go up the ramp, and Lawler's he gets him in like a side headlock, just punching him in the face. I'm like, that is so dumb. Then he hits his running bulldog on the ramp, and then he picks him up and throws him back in the ring. I'm like, what the frig?
Just trying to make the match last a little longer, I think, if anything.
It didn't do anything good for this match.
I don't think anything could have. They were both heels with no reason to fight each other.
Pretty much. And then he goes to this where I swear to, because I'm pretty sure they were filming 2 pay-per-views in a row every show.
Maybe.
Like I'm pretty sure they would film like 2, so they didn't have to film every single week. And I'm pretty sure it was the exact same fan as last episode, because last episode would have been 9, so they would have filmed 9 and 10 together. He's trying to take the chair from the guy, and the guy won't give him the chair again.
Yeah, that awkward moment, yeah.
That's 2 weeks in a row, so I'm pretty sure it's due to that being filmed back to back.
That's a good point. And the fan gets a moment on camera this time, waving.
And then, as he's walking away, the fan grabs the chair and swings it at Lawler. He misses him, but had he hit him, that would have been a huge issue.
Like, you gotta wonder, was that intentional or just random? I have no idea.
I think it was random because of the last filming. I think he wanted to try and get that chair from the guy again.
Yeah, well, but what was the guy swinging the chair at him for? I have no idea.
Because he's like, you're a dick.
Get a moment of fame, I guess.
You're a dick. Don't steal my chair.
They did give him a moment of fame, though. The guy said they on camera, you get a chance to show off for a second there.
I guess so.
Hey, Mom.
It was great.
Actually, there's a retard fan later on that does that too in the background. Hi, Mom. He's just a really loser-looking guy.
Yeah. So Lawler climbs up to the top rope, but Slash cuts him off and hits him with the superplex for 2. Slash then hits the outsider's edge, but he keeps spinning and lets him go. It's called the slash and burn, but I gotta explain what it is. Nobody's gonna know what it's called by the slash and burn. Come on. Yeah. And he gets a 2 count.
Really bird spin drop, I call it. That's the best way to describe it.
It's pretty much, and slash and burn for 2. Lawler then reverses whip into a float over DDT. Lawler then, instead of going for the pin, starts dancing.
Yeah.
So Slash gets up, he goes to kick him, foot's caught, so he hits an enziguri, and then keeps dancing. Then Slash goes...
Keep on dancing.
Yeah, and I totally screwed my notes up here. So Slash goes for Slash, and burn. Oh, Slash goes for the Slash and burn again, but gets low blowed by Lawler, so Slash decides he's going to low blow Lawler. I'm just like... Are we not calling low blows anymore?
No, cow poke to the jubblies.
So Slash takes Lawler up, and he goes for another suplex, but he gets pushed off, and Lawler hits what is now known as the Tennessee Jam leg drop.
Yeah, or as I call it, the Marky, the PWA original leg drop.
Come on, he stole it. He stole it from Lawler.
Of course he does, but it's so him,
Yeah, and Brian Lawler
plug there.
And Brian Lawler gets the win.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Yay! Great match. Let's move on.
Jerry's kid. Goodbye.
And then they cut to the back, and Jeff Jarrett's yelling at Bob Armstrong, and then he walks away.
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of point. That was literally that entire segment. So we go back to the ring, and it's match number 5, and it is an X Division Championship 4-way elimination match.
Which makes absolutely no sense in any kind of reality world where this match ever happened the way it happens. But
so it's Loki defending his championship against the entire Spanish announce team. If you don't know who that is, it's Jose Maximo, Joel Maximo, and the Amazing Red.
You bet, Mr. Figueroa.
Yeah, this match has a lot. Holy shit, that's a lot of notes. So we'll go.
Bad match wrestling wise. It was just
no,
really
but
dumb storyline wise.
Yeah. So as Loki's coming, as Loki's music starts playing, they cut to a girl in a cage dancing.
Yeah, why not?
And then back to Loki. So this is another one of a 3-man team challenging the champion, but it make at least for a little bit in the in last week's match, they were all fighting against Loki. Then it broke down, but they immediately started fighting each other
too. So I mean, that made some sense. These guys are a cohesive 3-man tag team for frick's sakes.
Yeah. So Loki attacks all the men. They team up and start attacking him, but he fights them all back off, and then hits his spin kicks to both of the Maximos.
Yes, cartwheel, his title crush. Cartwheel.
No. This is just the one where they're on the ground and you're just kicking them in the head.
Oh, that one, sorry.
Yeah. So then the Amazing Red just comes flying in, then drop kicks Loki. Then Jose then attacks Red and slams him down and pins Red, gets a 2 count. He then gets tagged in. Loki gets tagged in from, pretty sure this was Joel. I'm very confused by these guys.
Yeah, it's hard to get out.
He gets tagged in and goes to work and starts slamming, puts a couple scoop slams, and hits a knee drop on Amazing Red, gets a 2 count. Amazing Red then goes for a Hurricanrana, but Loki reverses it into the Key Crusher. But then Red reverses out, and Rana's him into the corner. Rana's Loki into the corner. Joel gets tagged in and goes for a tornado DDT, but he gets caught and smashed into the turnbuckle. One of the Maximos, sorry. One of the Maximos then hits tornado DDT for 2. The other Maximo gets tagged in and he hits a double bulldog. They hit a double bulldog on Loki and he gets a 2 count. Loki then fights back, hits a springboard Hurricanrana, and then a rolling Kaipo kick to both of the Maximos.
Can I just make an aside here before you go too much into it? A couple of notes at this point. First of all, originally the announcer says the opposition is united, which is hardly the case at all. It may not have been a handicap match, but it should have been one by the SAT. And secondly, the announcer says this is the type of match where if you can stay out and let the others wear themselves out, you have a great chance. No, type of match where if you gang up and take out the champion, you can guarantee that one of you will become the new champion.
Yeah.
So just some pointless crap in the counter to the announcing.
Yeah, the announcing was not great in this one. Yeah, so he hits the wrong. Jose comes in but then gets sent into the corner onto his partner. Then Loki. This is where Loki hits the double title crush, where he had both Maximos in the corner and he did his cartwheel into the flying kick and hit the title crush on both men, which looked really good.
That was cool, yeah.
Red then tags him in and tries to pin Joel Maximo. Then Loki gets tagged back in, and Joel Maximo gets Key up onto his shoulders, and then Jose comes off the top, hitting the stomp to the back. Then, so then Jose's in the ring, just standing there, and Joel's got Loki still on his shoulders, so Amazing Red goes up, does the same thing, but as he's coming down, Hurricanrana's Jose away.
His own partner!
His own partner. And it's just like, work together, you jackasses.
The champion is dangerous. That's why he's the champion.
Yeah. So Joel and Red end up they start fighting, and Joel gets Red up onto his shoulders, and Loki ends up hitting this springboard kick to Red. Looks so good, like off the shoulders. He was seated on the shoulders, he was standing on one of the Maximo's shoulders, right?
Is that what they call the Maximo Impact or something?
Well, no, Loki was the one that did the springboard and hit the kick.
Oh, okay.
It looks so good. The Maximo Impacts were like that reverse wheelbarrow into the neck breaker.
I watched. I was like, it's hard to describe that one. That's
no, but this one was where Maximo was holding Red up, who was standing on his shoulders, and this is where Low-Ki did the springboard off and kicked him.
Oh yeah.
And that looked just sick.
There was good wrestling in this match. I have to definitely say that.
Oh, very much so. The Maximos then, this is where the Maximos hit the Maximo Impact. This is where he's got him like you'd hold him in a wheelbarrow position, but he has him the other way, then like flips him forward over, and that's where he hits him with the neck breaker.
Yeah. Why are they trying so hard to let Low-Ki retain the title? I have no
idea. The Maximos then start facing off with Red, and he ends up beating them both down. Red ends up beating them both down with big kicks, and hits a Rana off the top onto Jose, who's standing on the ring apron, on the in-ring apron, and sends him onto Joel, who's on the floor. Red then hits a suicide dive, or goes, like, Loki's on the other side, he runs to go hit a suicide dive, but gets kicked in the face. Loki then tries to hit Red with the key crusher, but decides, nah, and he just throws Red to the outside onto the Maximos. Loki then climbs to the top, and then hits a Phoenix Splash onto both of the Maximos on the outside.
That was really cool.
Loki then throws Joel Maximo in and gets a 2 count. Joel then sends Key on to the apron and hits a kick on, and then he goes in like to kick, like jumps in the air, kicks him, and they both end up going to the outside. And then Jose gets in, I think he hit Red with the powerbomb. Hits the powerbomb
into the facebuster, right?
Yeah, where he gets him up and then like flips him backwards into the X Factor.
Almost beats him.
And then almost beats him. Joel then hits the maximum. Joel then comes in, hits the maximum overdrive on his brother, Jose, and eliminates him from the match.
Yeah, that's like, why?
I don't understand this.
Yeah, they're basically insulting any fans with any knowledge of anything, intelligence. I mean, there's no story sense to this.
The psychology of this match is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
So Joel,
they could have made him look so strong.
Yeah, they could have made Loki look like a beast, just taking each one out, but no. Joel Maximo tries to pin Red, but Loki breaks it up. That pissed me off.
Yeah, no kidding.
Then Loki grabs Joel by the head. Why would he want
not to have his other guy eliminated? Makes no sense.
Then Loki grabs him by the head, just starts kicking him in the face repeatedly. Look really good. Red then hits a springboard and hits a flatliner onto Joel Maximo, who is his partner. Then he goes up, hits a Code Red, and eliminates him.
Yeah, why would he think he had a better chance of being Low-Ki by himself than with 2 partners to help?
I don't understand this even in the slightest. Red and Loki start going back and forth. They kick, they punch, lots of strikes. Loki starts getting the advantage. Then Red ends up hopping onto the rope, hits a flip, like a sunset flip bomb, but he gets caught and gets Alabama slammed into the corner. Loki then goes for the key crusher, climbs up to the second rope to go while he has him held up. Then Red gets out and then hits the floor, then runs up and the same as Jimmy Yang's moonsault kick where he runs up the guy, kicking him and does the moonsault. He did the same thing, but to Low-Ki, who's sitting on the top turnbuckle. Looked really good.
Yeah.
Then he climbs up and tries to Rana him off the top, but Low-Ki reverses it into the Key Crusher 99 and comes off, hits the Key Crusher 99 off the second rope, and then he crawls over, pins him, 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still X Division champion, the one and only Low-Ki.
Yeah, it should have been a 1-on-3 handicap match. Would have made him look so much stronger. Stupid bullshit booking, I tell you, of Low-Ki as champion so far.
I don't understand it. But guess what's next?
Girls dancing in cages?
Yep, girls in cages dancing, baby. And then they cut to the back, and Goldilocks is talking to Ron, the Truth Killings. He calls her a hussy. I couldn't believe he legit called her a hussy.
Nice.
I was like, what the hell? He called her a hussy.
No offense.
and says Monty should be thanking him. He freed the black people by winning this belt. He says he has a dream, and it's his foot kicking Monty Brown's ass.
Yeah.
He usually cuts some of the best promos. Yeah, that was the cheesiest thing I've ever heard.
They could have done without that one.
Oh, very much so. So we cut back.
We're going to have April Hunter challenging Bruce for the Miss TNA title next week.
Yeah, we cut back to the ring, and April Hunter is at ringside with some black guy. Just sitting there with a black guy. They don't acknowledge who this guy is, though. So, and then it cuts back to the ring, and we get the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match. Ron the Truth Killings versus the Alpha Male Monty Brown.
Yeah, on the surface could have been a pretty damn good match.
Yeah, it could have been. But so Truth slaps Monty to start the match. Then Monty just punches him. Then they go back and forth with punches. See a couple more slaps from Truth. And this is where the referees go, well, why isn't he using his MMA training and his submission training? He's trained by Dan Severn. I'm like, Dan Severn wasn't that great of a submission guy. He was fine, but I don't know. Monty Brown isn't the kind of guy that I would expect you doing submissions.
But he had a great football career, man.
Yeah, they bring that up. Monty Brown is dominating pretty good with punches, and he hits a couple shoulder blocks and gets a 2 count. Truth then hops the ropes on Monty goes to whip him, and just hops over the top rope, and then as Monty runs in, pulls the ropes down, and Monty Brown rolls to the outside, and then Truth goes back in, then runs and hits a tope onto Monty Brown on the outside. He looked like he came down hard on that tope. That looked like it hurt.
It definitely made the match a little bit exciting at that point.
Yeah. And then Truth whips Monty headfirst into the steps, then just starts going to town stomping on him. Monty Brown fights back, but he gets eye-raked. They trade some punches, but then Truth gets the advantage and drags Monty over and slams him into the announce table. Then they climb on top of the announce table. They fight back and forth. Monty Brown then tries to hit the Alpha Bomb on Truth, but Truth just gets out of it and knocks Jim to the floor. But knocks Monty. Damn it, Jim. Knocks Monty to the floor and then just keeps attacking him. Truth goes for the whip into the barricade, but Monty reverses, hits a belly-to-belly suplex, and I swear, when they both came down, they both hit their head on exposed concrete.
Yeah, it would have been.
And then, so after they both recover, Monty Brown throws him in, and he gets a 2 count.
Yep. So
Monty Brown then starts going to town with the chops, and then goes for the whip, but Truth reverses into the flatliner, and then goes to the top, hits the Marky leg drop for a 2 count.
Original Marky drop turnbuckle leg drop.
Yeah, buddy. Truth then applies a headlock rest hold. Yeah, and it lasts for a good 30 to 40 seconds, and it's just like, I guess they got too tired in that 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, don't get me wrong, I was at an indie show, was it a few weeks ago, and we were chanting, we want headlocks, but we were doing it as a joke, and when they put a headlock on, they were doing it, funny, and we chanted double headlocks, so the tag team put a double headlock on a guy, and all this stuff, but, I hate rest, but it wasn't a rest hold, right? They made it something. I hate when they just put on these holds, and I'm just like, I'm bored.
Actually, I think in that old tag team arcade game, tag team wrestling game back when I was a kid, they called the headlock the time nutter. Probably for a good reason. It was probably often used to slow the match down.
Yeah, I have never heard the term time nutter in my life. Wow.
That's what it said right on the screen, time nutter.
The time nutter.
We'll have to use that one sometime.
Yeah, the time nutter. I love it. Time nutters. Sounds kinky, I guess.
Yeah.
Monty then hits a running twisting elbow. Then Truth comes back with the spinning leg lariat and gets a delayed 2 count. Truth then catches Monty coming into the corner, because Truth ends up in the corner. Monty's coming running in, and he gets out of the way. Then he tries to suplex Monty Brown, but Monty hits a beautiful snap suplex on the Truth, and both men are down, and the ref starts the 10 count. They get back up, and Monty gets the striking advantage and picks up the Truth and hits a running power slam, and then hits the Ultimate Warrior style splash for the 2 count. Truth then floats over as Monty's running in the corner. He hops over him and does the splits and the hop up into the leg lariat. Then hits the spinning axe kicks and then he crawls over, gets the delayed 2 count. Monty Brown then reverses the suplex into the Alpha Bomb, but Truth rolls out. Then Monty goes for the Alpha Bomb again. Then Truth just cradles Monty Brown, and he gets the 3 count and retains his championship.
Your winner and still NWA Heavyweight Champion, Ron the Truth Killings!
But immediately, Jeff Jarrett slides into the ring, hits the ref with a chair, then hit Monty Brown with a chair, goes to hit Truth with a chair, but gets stopped. Then why do I keep wanting to say Jerry? Brian Lawler rolls into the ring to attack Jeff Jarrett. Then Truth sets up, he's holding Jeff Jarrett. Lawler grabs the chair, goes to hit Jeff Jarrett with the chair, so Jeff Jarrett gets out of the way, pulls Truth into the way, hits Truth with the chair, and Jeff Jarrett peels out of the ring. Lawler's all pissed, and yeah, that was the end of that segment.
You know, I hate to say it, I'm going to mention it later on too, but this has got the makings of a wonderful Fatal 4-Way NWA Championship match.
Oh, please God, no. Please God, no.
They all hate each other. It'd be so much heat.
Yeah, heat. That's what it is. So we cut to girls in cages dancing.
Yeah, girls dancing in the cages.
And then we cut to the back, and his Goldilocks is with Jerry Lynn. He says this train wreck is coming to a head. Enough with the head games and the locker room ribs. Has this been locker room ribs? But legitimately, it doesn't seem like locker room ribs. This just seems like 2 guys attacking each other.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a rib to me. It's really odd. I know what a locker room rib is. That's definitely not it.
It's more like locker room gonna lose a rib.
Yeah, pretty much. So we go on to match number 7 of the night. It is the second match in the best of 3 series, and so this one is a no disqualification match. Woo woo!
Lynn leading 1 fall to 0.
Lynn is up one match to none. So this match starts right off the interview because AJ attacks Jerry Lynn in the back during the interview, and they fight to the outside, and they ring the bell.
Is this really the first no disqualification match in the history of TNA PWA? Or sorry, TNA NWA? Typo there.
I don't know.
That seems awfully unlikely after all these weeks. The first no to DQ match? Like, that's crazy.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Anyway, just an aside.
I wasn't really paying attention. They fight into ringside. AJ hops up on the apron, goes for the springboard styling DDT, but they miss it. So Jerry Lynn runs into the ring, and AJ follows him in. They fight back and forth. AJ sends Lynn to the apron. Then Lynn ends up grabbing AJ, drags him down onto the ropes, hit the hot shots him on the ropes. AJ falls to the ground, falls to the mat. Lynn then goes to the outside, and he sets up a table. But then AJ comes out of nowhere and attacks Lynn from behind. Then he sends Lynn to the inside. AJ gets up onto the apron, and Jerry Lynn decides, I'm going to do a sunset flip and try to powerbomb this guy through a table to the floor. He tries, doesn't work, AJ fights it off. So Jerry Lynn, for some weird reason, just grabs the table and flips it over.
Yeah, for no reason.
Just flips it upside down.
I'm pissed off, so I'm going to do something crazy.
But it was weird. And then AJ comes out with a dive. Lynn gets out of the way, and AJ just lands on the table, but it's upside down, so it's just landing on a piece of wood. It's like, if you would have just left the table there, he could have crashed through it.
But then you did it for
and you could have got the win. And it could have been over. You dummy. I don't know. I just don't know. That was a weird segment. They get back in the ring. Jerry Lynn brings the chair in, but AJ Styles sweeps the leg, so Lynn falls and has the chair land on his face, and AJ hits his jumping knee drop and smashes the chair right into Lynn's face. Then picks up the chair and then wedges it between the top and middle turnbuckles. Lynn then reverses an Irish whip into a powerbomb, but AJ rolls through, goes for the sunset flip. Then Lynn breaks out of it, picks up AJ, then catapults him face first into the chair.
Own chair, how unfortunate.
Yeah, and he gets hit with a 2 count. Lynn gets a pin for a 2 count. Why did I say gets hit with a 2 count? That's weird. I don't know how you get hit with a 2 count. How would you get hit with a 2 count?
I guess, I don't know, 2 punches? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of insane here.
Oh, well.
Jerry Lynn starts stomping.
The other way, buddy.
Yeah. Jerry Lynn starts stomping AJ Styles and punches him in the neck. Like, literally punches him in the neck. I love that.
Throat punch.
In the corner, and AJ reverses a whip into the other corner. And as he runs in, Jerry Lynn lifts him up, sends him over to the apron. AJ goes for a shoulder block. Lynn dodges it, hops up, and hits the leg drop, the rope hung leg drop from Jerry Lynn. Lynn then goes for a tornado DDT off the apron, through the table on the other side to AJ. But AJ stops it and then sends Lynn up to the inside, and Lynn falls to the ground, and AJ shoots himself over, hits a tornado splash for the 2 count. AJ then puts a chair in the middle of the ring. Lynn and AJ then both run the ropes, double clothesline each other, and they both land on the chair.
Yeah, double close each other onto the chair.
That was the weirdest spot. Just the weirdest spot. As they get up, they start tug-of-warring the chair, so Lynn just smashes it into Styles' gut. Then he goes and he sunset flips AJ while he's still holding the chair, while AJ's still holding the chair. So as he rolls over, AJ takes the chair from, laying on his back and just smashes Lynn in the face.
Creative way to break up a 3 count, though.
Yeah, and AJ Styles gets a 2 count out of that.
and gets hit with a 2 count after that.
yeah, Lynn gets hit with a 2 count. AJ then sets up Jerry Lynn with the chair, he sets up to hit Lynn with the chair, but Lynn ducks and Lynn kicks it RVD style into AJ's face and gets the 2.9 count. I'm calling it 2.9 because the ref was about to hit and AJ kicked out. It's that just barely kick out spot. Jerry Lynn then puts Styles on the top turnbuckle and positions the chair on the mat in front of the corner, and then picks him up, hits the Randy Orton Hangman style DDT onto the chair, and he gets only gets a 2 count.
He picked his head up
because he picked up AJ. He breaks his own cover. I'm like, you could have won this right here, you jerk.
Yeah, and of course it's going to backfire. It always does.
Yeah. So and he breaks it up, lifts up AJ, runs him into the corner, runs AJ into the corner, and puts him on the top. AJ fights back, knocks Lynn off the top onto the mat, goes for the title, stands up onto the top, is getting ready to hit the spiral tap, but Lynn then runs up and crotches AJ on the turnbuckle. Lynn then sets up and Hurricane Rod's AJ off the top through the table.
Finally, the table's being set up
to the floor, but he caught half the table. Maybe it still broke, so they must have gimmicked it. But dude, it looked like that, hardcore Holly style, where he hit the edge of the table.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Thank God he didn't cut his back open, but it looked like it hurt, man.
Ouch.
I really wrote here, went through the table, but it looked ugly as fuck.
Well, it explains, though, the fact that he sets the chair up, then knocks it over so it doesn't break it, and then sets it back up again.
Yeah. So Lynn then slowly gets up and then throws AJ inside and gets the 2.9 count again. Lynn then sets up the chair on the ground, and goes up, but AJ then sunset flips him. But Lynn goes for something for the flip. Lynn goes for the Hurricanrana, but AJ stops it, hits the Styles Clash onto the chair, and gets a 3 count, and AJ Styles is the winner of the second fall. Jerry Lynn is the dumbest person I know. He could have won this multiple times out of the personal match, but decided, I'm too cocky, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, after 13 years in the business, man, it's obvious how intelligent he is.
14 years in the business.
14 years.
So immediately, and I mean immediately, we go into, the bell rings, and then you hear the announcer go, we're going into the Iron Man match, and the clock starts going. There was no break at all. So AJ then pins Jerry Lynn, gets his first pin.
Yeah.
He pins Jerry Lynn again, gets his second pin. Goes for it a third time. This is where Lynn kicks out. So they get up. Lynn reverses the suplex neckbreaker and then hits his own neckbreaker on AJ Styles for a 2 count. They then trade sleeper holds. And this is where the match really slowed down. But come on, these guys got to be tired at this point. At least it wasn't after like 4 to 5 minutes of action. They'd been going for a good like 12, 13 minutes at this point.
Did a good job of feeding off of AJ's heat, though. I mean, the fact that they have Jerry Lynn so far behind and so out of it, and the fans are chanting, Jerry, Jerry, just hoping he'll come back.
Oh, very much so. Very, very much so. Lynn breaks out of the sleeper hold and drags AJ. As Lynn breaks out, AJ grabs Lynn by the hair and slams him down to the mat. And then he applies another headlock. Lynn then breaks out of that headlock and goes for the back body drop. Or goes for like a back body drop, back suplex, but AJ then flips backwards and lands on his feet. AJ then goes for a Hurricane Rana, but gets flipped forward into the X Factor, and Lynn pins AJ Styles, getting his first fall of the Iron Man match.
2-1.
2-1 for AJ Styles.
He tries for a second one, doesn't get it.
Yeah, Lynn, he tries to pin him again, but isn't successful. Lynn then picks up AJ and puts him in the corner and hits and clotheslines him in the corner. Then goes to work, starts kicking and beating on Styles. Then he goes for the cradle pile driver, but gets back body dropped. This is where AJ Styles starts kicking Lynn, and then he gets him into the corner, whips him across, goes for the leaping splash in the corner, but
like
Jerry Lynn.
As I was thinking he was gonna be.
It was like a really very good version of a stinger splash.
Yeah.
Into the corner, but Lynn gets out of the way. Then Lynn hits AJ crumbles to the mat. Lynn hits a leg drop to the back of AJ Styles' head, but only gets a 2 count. Lynn then scoop slams AJ, climbs up the turnbuckle, but AJ cuts him off, hits he hasn't
go
set,
for the edge.
He going for the edge, which is there, and then flips him forward into a face buster. And pins Lynn and goes up 3-1 in this match. And there's not even 5 minutes left at this point?
Yeah, about 3-4 minutes.
3-4 minutes at this point. So they're really selling that Lynn's in trouble here. Lynn's in trouble here.
Did a good job with the psychology.
Oh yeah. AJ then starts stomping on Lynn, lifts him up, whips him into the corner, and then whips him into the ropes, and then hits a spinning heel kick, gets a 2 count. AJ's then working on Lynn, beating him down. Then Low-Key just walks out, sets up a ladder on the stage, and just stands there.
For no reason, just to watch.
So AJ Styles picks up Jerry Lynn, goes for a power slam, but Jerry Lynn reverses into the cradle pile driver and gets a 3 count. So AJ Styles is now up 3-2 on Jerry Lynn.
With 1:40 to go.
And then Jerry Lynn gets back up, goes for another pile driver, but switches it as they're trying, AJ's trying to reverse, he's trying to, switches into a Styles Clash, hits a Styles Clash on AJ, and gets a 3 count.
Yeah.
So we're at 3-3, and there's about a minute.
Ties it up with his own move.
And there's a minute and change left to go at this point. And we're tied 3-3. So AJ, they start fighting back and forth. AJ reverses an Irish whip. This is where they both trade a bunch of pinfall attempts. They're going back and forth for a good 45 seconds just pinning each other.
Back and forth.
And then AJ picks up Jerry Lynn, gets him up, tries getting him ready to hit the Styles Clash. He drops him on his head.
Tries to pin him.
But it's as the ref goes down to count 1, the time expires. And this match is a draw. So this is where Low-Key comes down, lifts both men up, raises their hands, to celebrate, man, you guys killed it. Then kicks them both in the head. I loved it. And he grabs the mic, walks up the ramp, and he says he will have he said if you both want a title match. Well, in this company, it's not about you two. It's about the man that holds this belt, and it's essentially it's all about him. So he says next week it's going to be a triple ladder match.
The first in a 54-year history of the NWA.
Yeah. Okay. My issue with this, so that's fine. Triple threat ladder match, and then you go
triple ladders too.
And then you go to they're just going to be regular ladders, obviously.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, trust me, there's been more in other matches. So they cut to the announcers, and This is where they praise the match and the recap of the Loki promo saying, "Have you ever heard of something like this before? Triple threat ladder match, oh my god!" The WWE has done this before. Shut the fuck up. They've done triple threat tag team matches.
Yeah.
I've seen a triple threat tag. No, but they literally said, "Have you ever seen this before anywhere?"
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I've seen triple threat tag team matches in WCW. I've seen triple threat tag team matches in WWE. I've seen triple threat ladder matches in WWE. I've seen it before. This is nothing new. Just the first time in your company.
Harry Potter would rate that ridiculous.
I was just annoyed that they were acting like it was something that's never been done, ever. Where it just hasn't been done in your company because you've only existed for, well, NWA didn't do ladder matches. Like,
yeah, because they haven't yet.
Just so annoys me. So, Stupid Don West...
shenanigans to come, though, in the last few minutes.
Yeah, so Stupid Don West does his stupid sell, fuck this guy, you know. So they cut to the back, and the referee Armstrong, he's talking to his dad, who's behind a curtain, and he says he's trying to stop him from doing something. Nobody knows really what's going on. So we cut back to the ring, and Jeff Jarrett's making his way out. Jeff Jarrett says it's the end of the night, it's time for the surprise. Even though earlier in the night he said he didn't give a shit what the surprise was.
I was going to say that before. So, seemed to care later on.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I think he was just like, let's get it over with. And out comes a person in the Bullet Bob Armstrong gear.
And hey, Road Dogg Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Danimal Daniel Jobber proudly presents the Armstrong family. Your ass better call somebody.
Was that Road Dogg? That did not look like Road Dogg in that gear, bro.
No, I wish it was, though. That'd be awesome.
Like, whoever this guy in the gear was, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, that's not Bullet Bob.
No, I wonder.
But, like, he comes out, he's fighting with Jeff Jarrett, and then he comes in, Jeff Jarrett beats him up, Jeff Jarrett goes to give him the stroke, he fights back, they brawl back and forth. Actually, before Jeff Jarrett hits the stroke, he says, he can't get him. He can't get him now, but maybe he could have done something to him 20 years ago. Yeah. And then he says he's going to give him the stroke. And he goes to pick him up, hit him the stroke, but Bullet Bob fights back. He beats down on Jeff Jarrett, then sends Jeff Jarrett to the outside, and as Jeff starts to go up the ramp running away, out comes Bullet Bob Armstrong. Jeff Jarrett looks like the most confused man in the world. Like, he can't figure out what's going on here.
But we're out of time, unfortunately.
And Jeff Jarrett, if you notice, Jeff Jarrett just falls to the side and runs off the side of the ramp. And they say, we're out of time, and they cut off.
Maybe that's referee Armstrong, eh?
No.
Brian James' brother.
Dude, there's no way that dude was way bigger than Ref Armstrong, dude.
So that's another suspense for next week.
I think it's just some random.
That Bullet Bob?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do here. But man, that was an interesting match.
That was
interesting finish to the show.
A little more suspense to get you thinking about next week. You know, I want to know who that is. You know,
I do.
I wish it was Brian James, but obviously it isn't.
Dude, that dude's way too big and way too in good shape for it to be fucking Road Dogg.
Yeah.
You know what? But Danimal, your overall thoughts on this week's episode of the NWA-TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View?
I like to see a show with that much action, man. I'd like to crap on that the way they booked Low Key. You know, in some of the matches, like the one with Slash was kind of boring, but this show was so action-packed, I just can't crap on it as an overall show. That was a really good show. Really good matches, really good wrestling, enough suspense and storylines, and the ending leaves you wondering what's going to happen next. I mean, what more can you ask?
No, I thought overall a lot of good wrestling action. The minimal storyline stuff we had was good progression, or minimal, segments was good progression, pushing along the stories that are there. I very much enjoyed this show.
Yeah, I mean, so I would like to see things like a fatal four between Truth, Jarrett, Brown, and Lawler just for the heat. We're going to be looking forward to that triple ladder match between those three guys.
Yeah, the first ever triple ladder match, according to them. Yeah. Something we've never seen before. Yeah. But I look forward to that. Those three are going to kill it next week, man.
Boy, I bet you. And of course, no bullshit segments or bullshit matches, no long segments, mostly good wrestling. You know, in a small roster, and they didn't have the Dups. They didn't have
It felt like their main event roster, really.
They didn't have Don West. They didn't have.
They had a lot of the really top guys, their top X Division guys, and they had their lower card featured in some pretty great matches.
Who else was missing?
There was a bunch of people. The midgets were missing.
Yeah, no Disco Inferno. Who else has been wrestling all these weeks that also had the week off? I'm forgetting somebody.
But really, I just really enjoyed this. I thought everybody did great on this.
Yeah, I have a small roster doing a really good job. They're all good performers.
And everybody, I think the shortest match was like 6 minutes.
Yeah, no matches that were just pointless filler.
But all the matches that deserve time got at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, one of their better action-packed shows I've ever seen. So.
Very much so. So, Danimal, as always, thank you for coming on with me, buddy. We'll be back again in 2 weeks' time. I know we had 2 back-to-back weeks this time around, but that was just due to issues with our production that couldn't get the stuff out on time last time. We ended up coming out a week late, but we will be back again in 2 weeks' time.
And where I promise you won't hear Danimal Jobber say, "Your ass better call somebody."
But, Danimal, plug your shit.
You betcha, man. It's you can follow me on Twitter under Daniel Jobber, small D, small J, and on Instagram, capital D, capital J. I always get that wrong. And on Instagram, Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters. On my website, DanimalDanielJobber.ca, where, as always, you can find the link to the merchandise from whatamaneuver.net for the Backbreaker Media Network, and, of course, my favorite, the Jobber Champion merchandise. We have everything for both sexes, people of all ages, including baby onesies. You want to get your merchandise and support us? That's by far the best way.
Yeah.
And you follow me, Canada Guy. What's yours?
And I'm on Twitter at that Canada Guy, Instagram at that Canada Dude. You can check us out on Backbreaker on Twitter at Backbreaker Media, because we're Canadian enough. We don't need the A. Don't forget to check out Wincalm Sports on Twitter at WincalmSportsCA. On the internet at wincalmsports.ca. Plenty of great stuff. We are a division of Wincalm Sports here on the Backbreaker Media Network. Don't forget to check out backbreakervod.pivotshare.com to see all the great Alberta independent wrestling action, and you get to see bar wrestling on there. So that's a really great thing to have extra on there. We'll be going up soon. I watched this match a couple weeks ago. Michael Richard Blaze taking on Son of Irish, and probably one of the best matches I've ever watched in my life. And a match I actually attended last night in Vegreville will be up on the VOD service soon. Chris Parrish versus Michael Richard Blaze in a barn burner of a contest. You don't want to miss those, so please sign up at backbreakervod.pivotshare.com. It will be one heck of a show, and there should be a promo code attached to the notes of this show that Mike will add in there before he finishes the production. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching.
And rest in peace, King Kong Bundy, brother.
Oh yeah, rest in peace to everybody we lost. King Kong Bundy, the father of Jungle Boy Luke Perry, passed away recently. It's been a tough couple weeks for losing people.
You betcha, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, well, if you don't mind, I always want to say, what you gonna do when total nonstop anarchy runs wild on you?